Up close and personal at the California Science Center, your last chance to see the Space Shuttle Endeavour before it embarks on one more voyage. A maze haunted by the best in film and TV, inside the newest Halloween thrill that may never have happened if it weren't for the writer's strike. You're watching The Rundown. Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Winston. The historic Hollywood writer's strike has officially ended. That means some writers will be returning to work this week. The WGA endorsed the deal late Tuesday. Now, all union members will have a chance to vote to ratify the proposal. And under the deal, writers would get a 5% wage increase in the first year and a bigger bonus for writing for successful streaming shows. Studios have agreed to the union's demand to require a certain number of writers to be present in the writer's room, even for shows with fewer episodes. Also, artificial intelligence is not to be used for writing or rewriting scripts under the agreement. Comcast, the corporation that owns our parent company, NBC Universal, is represented by the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Some employees of the NBC News Group are represented by the WGA and SAG-AFTRA. All right, back here on Earth, after spending a record-setting 371 days in space, NASA astronaut Frank Rubio safely landed in Kazakhstan Wednesday. Rubio and his Russian counterparts were expected to return months ago, but their trip was halted due to a capsule leak. His extended mission actually provided researchers the opportunity to observe the effects of long-duration space flight on humans as NASA prepares to return to the moon with the Artemis missions. A big deal for space buffs in Exposition Park. The Space Shuttle Endeavour has been on display at the California Science Center for the past 11 years, but now it's about to embark on one more voyage. So the center will soon place the orbiter upright into a dramatic 20-story launch configuration, and that will look as if it's headed back to the stars. Your last chance to see the shuttle laying horizontally will be December 31st. All right, it's time to check in with meteorologist Belinda Leon. She's here with an update on your forecast. We're expecting some cooler temperatures for your work week.
Hi, everyone. Well, after a warm Wednesday, we have some big changes in the forecast. A cooling trend for the second half of the week into the weekend with an expanding marine layer. And the weather this weekend will be much cooler with a slight rain chance. Now, the temperature trend is going to take us from the 90s on Wednesday to 80s on Thursday and Friday, then 70s and 60s on Saturday and Sunday. As a system from Canada drops into the California area, we're going to have that marine layer increase even more, and along with that cool down, we're also going to have a chance for rain. So if you're not a fan of the hot weather, hey, wait a few days. This weekend, I think we could give a break to the AC, but we might need the heater.
A mother in Norwalk is recovering from broken bones after a home invasion attack. The intruder also briefly kidnapped her adult son, but he was not harmed. So surveillance video actually shows the man break through the back door of the home on August 2nd. Maria Marrero was attacked and was left with a broken arm and wrist and a fractured skull. She spent more than a month in the hospital, and since then, police have made an arrest, but the family is still traumatized by what happened.
I feel really scared. My son's still not staying here with us because we want to make the house more secure before he comes back. So he stays with my mom.
The ones you don't see are still hurting. The internal, the trauma, so she's still going through a lot of stress.
So far, police have not released the man's name or details on what charges he may face. An inmate who spent nearly 30 years in the LA County prison system is now a free and exonerated man. Gerardo Cabanillas was wrongfully convicted of robbery, kidnapping, and sexual assault. So these are the first moments of freedom for Cabanillas. He was arrested in 1996 when he was 18 years old, but there was never any physical evidence to tie him to the crime. The conviction was obtained through a false confession, and nearly 3 decades later, DNA testing cleared his name.
Mr. Cabanillas always maintained that on the date of his arrest, he was coerced by the investigating detective into giving a false confession with a promise that he would be released on probation.
Gerardo has missed out on a lifetime in the free world. Not just the day-to-day little joys of life, but all the major events. And he's missed out on raising that 8-month-old baby girl, who is now almost 30.
Cabanillas was granted permanent release from prison after he was found innocent. Now he has a lot of catching up to do with his family and his adult daughter. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a new tax hike on guns and ammunition in the state. The money from the sales tax will pay for more security at public schools and violence prevention programs. The governor says there's more work to be done when it comes to curbing gun violence, and the federal government already taxes the sale of guns and ammunition between 10 and 11%. So this new law adds another 11% tax on top of that. The LA Unified School District is lifting its COVID vaccine requirement for employees. The policy has been in place for more than 2 years. So the district board says it made the decision after consulting with local health authorities. The LAUSD is also dropping the requirement for contractors, vendors, and volunteers. Can you imagine getting 5,000 phone notifications every single day? That may be the reality for some middle and high schoolers. According to new research on teen phone use, Common Sense Media found that half of 11 to 17-year-olds get at least 237 notifications each day, and in some cases, as many as 5,000. Most of them are linked to friends' social media activities, and experts say it could affect cognition, memory, and attention span. The LA County Board of Supervisors voted in favor of making October 13th Edward James Olmos Day, honoring the actor for his contribution, work, and activism on behalf of the Latino community. The East LA native is currently recovering from throat cancer diagnosis, and he's considered a local legend and gained notoriety with his roles in Zoot Suit, Stand and Deliver, and Miami Vice. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences will present a new Oscar in honor of the first Black person to ever win the prestigious award.
Ooh, just hold on and suck in.
Hattie McDaniel made history back in 1940 when she won for Best Supporting Actress as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. And back then, supporting winners got plaques, not Oscar statues. McDaniel's award was donated to Howard University when she died in 1952, but it disappeared from the school in the 1960s. The Academy will replace it with an actual Oscar next month during a very special celebration of her life and legacy in Washington, D.C. That is great to see. All right, the Golden Globes are adding 2 new categories to its upcoming award ceremony next year. Yeah, it's adding the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award and Best Stand-Up Comedian on Television to be considered for the Blockbuster Awards. Films need to earn more than $150 million at the box office, and $100 million of that must be domestic. For the stand-up comedy category, performances must be at least 30 minutes, other than roles in a TV series, limited series, or motion pictures made for TV. Prop masters and special effects workers who have been out of work during the Hollywood strike have found a creative way to make money and showcase their talents. ABC4's Darsha Phillips shows us their new Halloween maze.
The hum of machinery and the excited chatter of set designers.
We're ready to go. We're going to start dressing this stuff. We're going to make this creepy. It's going to be fun.
Is exactly what these studio workers need after nearly 5 months of silence.
We are all out of work and we're all itching to be creative again and do something fun.
And with Halloween around the corner,
we have the brightest minds in the film industry.
Scott Niner with Dangling Carrot Creative knew just who to call.
I did Halloween, Devil's Rejects, Piranha 3D, just tons of horror films.
To create the creepiest.
Just that haunted noise you hear that gives you shivers all throughout.
Scariest.
I would definitely say look out for some rabbit people. As well as some ghouls and, grotesque makeups as well.
Most hair-raising maze made by the best in movie magic.
If we can't do it, I don't know who else can.
The maze opens on October 16th, and there's still a lot to get done.
We're going through a section of the maze right now that's not completely assembled yet.
But these studio workers have nothing but time on their hands.
This is not your backyard haunt. We have the best special effects people, the best lighting people, the best sound people, the best construction people, the best makeup people.
They're pulling out all the stops.
If we need it, we'll create it. We'll build it. We don't have to go buy it. We can make it.
3D printers and access robots are building large props.
We're actually going to start milling some giant root systems for some of the walls and some 3D parts and sculptures and whatever we need, we can pretty much make it in-house.
Most of the materials have been donated or purchased at a discount, and everyone here is volunteering their time.
This is the only time in the industry you could ever get all these professionals together that aren't working.
The strike hasn't been easy.
The last 6 months, I haven't been sleeping much.
I was barely able to get my health insurance qualifications.
I know of people who are moving back in with their parents moving in with friends.
But these workers say being able to pour themselves into something creative again has kept them going.
It's what I needed. It's the shot in the arm. If I can't work on films, this is my next step.
And with the finest on board.
There'll be individual scares, so each scare will have its own individual noise to it.
They promise this maze will not disappoint. Enter if you dare and watch your back.
I love scaring people. That's what I'm going to do. And I am going to scare the hell out of Santa Clarita.
Darsha Phillips, NBC4 News.
You can bet there's a lot of excitement for this last story. So check this out. Airbnb announced that guests can actually book and stay at Shrek's iconic swamp home. Are you down? So the swamp is in Scotland and set up just like Shrek's home in the movies. It's complete with oversized furniture and roots growing down through the ceiling. And you can request bookings for free starting October 13th. The swamp is available for 2 nights and up to 3 guests. All right, who's down to stay there with me? That looks pretty cool. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4 weekdays from 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with traffic reports throughout your morning commute. All right, I'll see you next time on The Rundown.